Hey, Budgie!
Hey, Sufi!
And hey, listeners, tripsters, family trippers, what did we decide we're calling them, Pashi?
Tripsters. Yeah, tripsters.
Tripsters, Family Trips is coming to you live this summer. Join us for our first American live shows at the City Winery on August 12th in Philadelphia and August 13th in Boston, also at City Winery.
Family Trips Live in Boston is a partnership with Airbnb. And of course, you know we love taking the show on the road and love seeing all of you. So come join us on August 12th in Philly and August 13th in Boston at City Winery. Go to citywinery.com for tickets.
That's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Boston, Massachusetts.
Here we go.
Hey, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi, how are you?
I'm good. I got the Ponkas with me.
Yeah, that's right.
Ponkas visited, and it's a rainy day. It's a rainy beach day, so we've been socked in. We played a little bit of hearts already. Played 3-person hearts.
Yeah.
This is something that's new to them. Mm-hmm. And 17 cards each, one card in the middle, and you don't know what that card is till the end. And
the last trick takes that card?
No.
Or does that card not play?
That's what my assumption was. You just turn it over, and it's just an uncounted point.
Gotcha.
But if you blitz, if you shoot the moon and try to take all the points, if a heart or the queen of spades is in there, it's not a blitz and you're screwed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like that rule.
Feels to me like this better strategy would be the last trick takes it for what it's worth. But who am I? Who am I to fight the punks?
Yeah, I mean, you could change that in terms of house rules. I went to a 4th of July party this year, and we played a little cornhole, and the girl who was sort of in charge of games, there was this whole like beer Olympics, and she said a bean bag or a cornhole bag that is like leaning into the hole, that's 2 points, which I had never heard before. And I was like, really? She was like, house rules, and you can call house rules when it's your house. So
that's true. I could house rule it. Trying to think of the highlights. One is that in case you're worried, every time Mom takes the queen of spades and hearts, she's shocked and she feels as though, how could anyone have seen this coming?
Yeah.
Her capacity to be surprised by a negative outcome in a game where everybody's fighting for their own positive outcome is shocking to me. Mm-hmm. We've been watching, she's been watching with the kids, Pirates of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And
a series of films that she probably missed when they were in theaters.
All right, so I'm going to show you a character from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Would you say Caribbean or Caribbean, Posh?
We've always said Caribbean, at least for in this context. It changes.
Okay. We
would like take a trip to the Caribbean.
So that's Davy Jones. For anybody listening at home, Google Davy Jones Pirates of the What animal do you think Mom said that looked like?
I mean, I would hope an octopus or a squid.
Walrus. She said she went with walrus. And then 2 days later, she's trying to claim she said that because she knew the kids would think it was funny.
Did the kids think it was funny?
They think she thought it was a walrus. Then Ash said, first of all, you should know what a walrus looks like because Ponkayeri looks like a walrus.
Yeah, he does.
And then Ash asked me to make this to prove his point. So that's...
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That
was a picture that went from Davy Jones to Walrus to Dad.
And Dad looks way more like a walrus than Davy Jones does.
Yeah.
Addie started calling Dad Ponky the donkey.
Great.
That's pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes, Ponky the donkey, Hurry the furry. She was just coming up with nicknames. Real happy. Hurry the furry, Daddy the baddie. That's me.
Yeah.
Mama the llama. And then I said, what is Axel? And she said, asshole. We had that going for us. That was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Also, we went to a really great 4th of July parade on Martha's Vineyard. And I saw this. This was like a slow motion car crash, but I couldn't get out of the way of it. So floats are going by, a lot of people throwing candy, and Martha's Vineyard Gazette, which is a great local newspaper, they're throwing out little paper hats, okay? Mm-hmm. And so I get one, and Axel gets one. And you know what? It's 4th of July. We're celebrating 250 years. I'll put on a paper hat.
Sure,
and
man.
then someone from the Gazette runs back and shoots a little snapshot of us, and they put it on their Instagram. Now, they're square hats, and that's not a good look.
What, a square hat?
a square paper hat.
Okay.
Like I'm just saying, it was met with a lot of scorn from my circles.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The Strike Force 5 chat came across it, and Stephen Colbert said, "It looks like you offer internships in doofus studies."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of doofy.
Kind of doofy. But, you're just
Cute hat.
celebrating. Yeah.
Cute hat.
Cute hat.
How was your 4th?
It was good. Yeah. As I said, I went to a party that had some beer Olympics. That
Nice.
was, it was billed as beer Olympics, but it's been a long time since I've played like drinking games. And there were a lot of things like, all right, everyone has to have a drink. We're going to listen to Whitney Houston sing the national anthem. And by the time the song's done, you have to finish your beer. And I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, that's not right.
I'm
I
not
want to
gonna
drink
do
a
that.
game where there's a chance that you don't have to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'd play like flip cup, and I'd be like, the guy'd be like, "Do you have beer in your cup?" I'm like, "No, I have sparkling water, but that's what I'm going to do." I mean, I had a couple beers, but I had to drive home at the end of this thing, so I wasn't fully adhering to, I think, the official Beer Olympics rules. But then the night before, just kind of on a whim, I knew that at Beer Olympics we weren't going to have fireworks because we were in like a canyon in Los Angeles that could catch on fire. But we went to one of my favorite things in LA, the movies in the cemetery. We saw Shrek, the original Shrek, speaking of donkeys, which Mackenzie had never seen, shockingly. And so it was just the two of us. We went on a date night, and they have fabulous fireworks there, and you're sort of just perfectly positioned for them. They play right after the movie. There were a lot of fireworks that were not like boom, boom fireworks. They were just like lights. So it was relatively quiet for fireworks, and then they would pepper in some booms.
Oh, that's good.
So it was like teasing you. And they always do like 3 songs. With fireworks coordinated. The first song was Try a Little Tenderness, which is not what you think of for fireworks.
No.
The next one was Perfect Day by Lou Reed, not what you think of for fireworks, but it was great. And then there was like some disco bop that I didn't know was the last one. And it was, they were beautiful. It was awesome.
That's
and
fantastic.
I was glad that I got my taste of the fireworks. Also, Mom and Dad's anniversary, 4th of July.
4th of July, Mom and Dad's anniversary. 56 years.
56.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
God love them.
Yeah.
It's been very, very fun to have them around. And it's great. The kids wake up and immediately run over to their room and just start eating their cereal, and Dad feeds them toothpaste. They like to eat Dad's toothpaste. And Alexi's pretty, Alexi puts a lot of thought into what the kids eat. So they're pretty happy when it's just toothpaste straight from the tube.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least it's better than toothpaste from anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true. Toothpaste from the side of the sink. Hey, July 3rd, I went to a friend's wedding.
Oh, yeah? Who's your friend?
Just friends of mine in New York City. There was
it's weird. A Friday wedding strikes me as weird, though.
Yeah, a Friday wedding. And, again, I tell you more about it. There was an NDA.
Oh.
Yeah. But I had a wonderful time. I will say
that's
that.
Great.
I'm very happy for my friends. They seem very much in love, and that's all you can ask.
Yeah. Well, we all wish that you would have signed a DA, but
yeah. I'm this close to telling you all about it. All right, we got a great episode for you today. W.
Kamau Bell. He's got a new podcast, Who's With Me, which is also the name of his Substack. He's been in the game for a minute. Hosted a lot of shows,
guy,
done a lot of stand-up
guy.
Comedy.
Lovely person.
Yeah.
Enjoy, and happy
around.
4th. Happy 4th to everyone. I know it's past, and happy 250th to this great country that so many of our guests have shared its wonder about. That wasn't my best sentence, but I think that hopefully the point got across. Yeah.
Also, I think as this comes out, if I'm right, it's going to be Bastille Day. So, ha ha ha.
And that's sponsored by Amazon Prime, right? Because they have the best deals.
What?
They have the best deals.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
They have the best. When the person who knows you best in the world goes, "What?" Does that mean it was a good joke?
It was a good joke. It was you had me better with you were this close.
Yeah, I should have just walked away from the table. I thought I was on a hot streak, and now I know
we hadn't said who was going to be on the episode, so that was our mistake that we didn't tee that up first.
All right, love you, Podgy.
Love you, Zuvi.
Family trips with the Meyers brothers. Family trips with the Meyers brothers. Here we go.
Hello.
What are you watching?
Unbelievable.
I'm
Unbelievable.
doing lots of things. I'm very
I'm just going to say, I don't expect this from somebody who also has a podcast.
I was both listening to another podcast and I was making content for Instagram. So I was deep in it.
You're a multi-hyphenate, so I would expect nothing less. Yeah.
Please put Instagram content maker in my hyphen.
You were not. This was not a man who was just zoning out watching a TikTok
No,
video. This was a man
working.
who was juggling.
I was listening to a review of Supergirl, a movie I have not yet seen, and making fun of Vanilla Ice to put on Instagram later.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible that you can do all
do it
that
all
at once.
Is that all?
Are you someone who's excited about seeing the new Supergirl?
No. I was a superhero comic book fan when I was a kid. I more care about like keeping up with like when the culture is fired up about something.
Right.
Like people are really mad at the Supergirl movie, so I'm just like, that seems interesting, you know.
Right,
so,
yeah, exactly. Why? Yeah, there is that, obviously as somebody who makes art, it's rough at times to remember that people can have a negative critical reaction to it. With that said, I love a critic who has passion and puts a little work behind what they don't like about something.
Yeah, so I think the interesting thing about, is that lots of people hate it. Some people hate it for bad reasons. Some people hate it for legitimate reasons. And I like sort of the fact that everybody, they're like, we all agree that we hate it. I hate it because I'm a misogynist. No, that's not why we hate it because the storytelling was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you have to wake up every morning and decide what flag you're going to fly, and you could fly the wrong one.
And nothing's worse when your flag is bumping into somebody else's flag, and you're like, oh.
You're like, this is the wrong rally.
So you moved around. Your upbringing, you were kind of all over the place, right?
Yeah. I was born at Stanford University, where my mom was in school at the time, but I did not grow up here at all. We quickly moved back to Indianapolis, where she's from. Lived there till I was about 4 or 5. Then we moved to Boston, which I feel very happy. Lived there till I was about 12, which Boston doesn't remember I lived there, but I did live there. And then my mom wanted to move to Chicago, and I was there for a few months, but then hated it and moved to Alabama to live with my dad, who was in Mobile, Alabama. The night I got there, I was like, oh, this was a mistake. But I stayed for 2.5 years, and then I moved back to Chicago, finished high school, and then, college in Philadelphia, back to Chicago, out to the Bay Area, where I've basically been ever since.
So it was a situation where you realized immediately. What did you hope to find in Mobile, Alabama, and what did you find?
The way you asked that is so suspicious. What did you hope to find in Mobile, Alabama? So just to be clear, I used to go there every summer, so I knew what I was getting into on some extent. But I was just mad at my mom that we had moved out of Boston, and I liked Boston, and suddenly we were in Chicago, and I was the only child, and sort of didn't make friends quickly, and was just resentful and wanted something familiar. And then I got there and found something familiar. I was like, but not, my dad had he'd been remarried for a while, but really I went from being an only child with me and my mom to my dad was married to my stepmom my stepmom had a daughter. So then I was in like a nuclear family where it was like, what do we all want to watch for TV tonight? Whereas with my mom, it'd be like, I got my TV, you got your TV. See you later,
So when you were in Boston, was it just you and your mom? Like when did your parents split? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's a very sad story. I don't remember my parents being together ever, really. It was really...
When you said I'm moving to Mobile, Alabama, what was your mom's reaction? Was she kind of like, on God bless?
It's funny. I wish I could bring her in. I think she was like, I know this is a mistake, but I have to let this kid do what he wants to do. Because she knows, the reason why I'm not sad that my parents split up is because I can't even really imagine them getting along long enough to say, should we have sex? So I don't understand how I came to be. So she was like, knew who my dad was and was like, basically like, good luck with that. I mean, and also was like, anytime you need me, I'm here. And so I used to call her every Saturday and just be like, I'm still here. So it was we actually got closer while I was there.
Oh, that's great. And what was, you said she was going to Stanford. What did your mom do?
She was in Stanford to get a PhD in English.
Okay.
The hang up was she wanted a PhD in African American literature. And at the time, Stanford did not give that as a degree. They didn't think African American literature was a thing. This was the early 70s.
Unbelievable. When you're like, even Stanford? You're like, yeah.
Yeah, even West Coast Stanford. Yeah. So crazy. Racism in California. And so she dropped out, so she never finished her degree, but nobody would know that or expect that about her.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Did she work as an academic in Boston? That's just such a college town.
It was like deeper than that. She was the editor of textbooks. She was an English textbook editor, and she made it her job to diversify the stories in English textbooks. Again, this is the late 70s. We got to Boston the same year Larry Bird did. So, you're welcome, Boston. But yeah, so she was like in the late 70s and early 80s, like diversifying the stories in English textbooks.
Gotcha.
It's interesting when you said that Boston doesn't remember you there. Like Josh and I are, from Southern New Hampshire. We're an hour drive to Boston. And like Boston doesn't really like accept us as Boston either. Like it's really like if you weren't like born there and spent like a good like 40 years, they're like
Yeah. If you didn't run from somebody in a race riot, I don't think they count you as being.
Well, they're very much like, why were you, if you're from Boston, why have you been elsewhere?
Yeah. And why aren't you saying it every 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you, like, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck do a good job of, like, saying Boston every
Yeah,
few
they
minutes.
know they left, but they're like, you guys talk about it enough that we
get it. And we'll do the accent every 8th movie. We'll do the accent so you remember.
Did you then, when you did some college stuff in Chicago as well, so eventually you found your way to belonging there?
Yeah, I mean, I went to UPenn for about a year and a half, then dropped out of UPenn and went to like a Columbia College in Chicago, which is like a media arts school.
Yeah,
and that's where I slowly found my way to comedy.
That's great.
Does having a mother who dropped out of Stanford?
It helps. Having a mother helps. I'm sorry,
but does having a mother who drops out of her PhD program, does that make it easier to then tell her that you're dropping out of UPenn?
Yes. Yeah. So, both my parents were like the first in their family to go to college. My mom finished her undergrad degree, but she didn't finish her postgrad degree. And my dad, like, was one of the guys who went back to college when he was 30s and got his like undergrad degree and his MBA. So I think for both of them, they're like, he'll go back if he needs to eventually. And here we sit still at eventually. Although my dad was pissed because I got into an Ivy League school, which is something he never would have been able to do when he was in high school, and so he was not happy about it.
Are they your parents both still around?
Yeah, my mom actually lives in our house. We just moved her in last year. She's 89. My dad still lives in Mobile, Alabama, with his new wife, and he doesn't want to leave.
Wait, when you say new, does this mean a third wife, or does this mean the stepmother?
Yes, this means that. So he was married to my stepmom for many, many years. She passed away, and then my dad remarried again.
And what was your closeness with your stepmother? Was she a big part of your life?
I mean, I lived there for 2.5 years, and I used to go there every summer. And so, it was rough because there was sort of a sense of, ultimately it was great. But at the beginning, there was just, when I got there, they were like, okay, now call your stepmom mom. And I was like, I already have a mom that I call mom. I don't think mom's a title you can confer to other people.
It's so weird to ask for that. Like, this is before there was a lot of art about mixed families, and before we saw movies about how to behave with.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't called blended family. It was just called This Is What It Is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You have when you're here, this is your mom.
Yeah, and so it was also hard because my stepsister was very happy to call my dad because she didn't have a close relationship with her dad at the time. No, I'm spilling all the family tea.
Yeah.
But So it was like, well, she's doing it, and I'm like, well, I like it's hard to be. I like my mom. I'm no offense. No,
You're like, if you like her so much, why did you come here?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Wait, what was a summer in Mobile, Alabama like?
I mean, that's what I do. Like when I see my kids now, I have 3 daughters, and how like scheduled their summer is right now. Like a 15-year-old, an 11-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And like my 8-year-old had 2 weeks of camp and doesn't have camp today. And I feel like it's the first time you're having like a summer day of like that I used to have and take for granted of like you, like I was writing about this recently, like waking up, eating breakfast, and then sitting in my grandmother's den all day long as we watched like game shows, soap operas, afternoon game shows, cartoons, Wheel of Fortune about 5:30, primetime TV, and occasionally they would be like, go outside. That was summer for like 3 months.
I'm so glad because I was so worried you were going to go the other way, which is like throw open the door, run down to the gully, collect rocks. But there was that part of summer that my kids are never going to have. Also, just because of the way we, feel about screens and. It's hard to argue like there's a real value to watching Price is Right. But like I really did feel like in the summer it was like I've earned this. I was in school all year and I'm just going to sit here. And as I got older I did a lot of lying in my childhood bed reading books on a beautiful summer day. And I remember making the argument to my parents. I'm like, it's wonderful to read in the summer. There's birds chirping outside.
Yep.
I can see the trees out the window. This is great. Like the idea that I got to go run around like it's outdoor school was not for me.
I mean, for me, the minute I started making money from TV, I looked at everybody like, you were all wrong. Like all that TV time is why I work in TV now. Like
yes.
I was right. I was studying apparently. So me and my wife have very different attitudes towards screens. And I'm like, it's not that you're on the screen. It's what you're doing on the screen.
Yeah.
I do just want to point out, Seth just knocked outdoor school. And every weekend, what do you send your kids to, Seth?
Outdoor school. Well, that's because, here's the thing.
That's what it's called, Kamau.
If I had a wife who said, like, on Saturday they can just watch TV all day, I'd be like, great, keep them home. But, like, if we're not going to let them do that, like, somebody else take them.
Yeah.
Somebody else take them.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
No, I know what you mean.
Like, much of again, and I get it, and I'm not like, I'm not going to sit down with my wife and be like, I think they'd be better at school if they watched Alf. You know what I mean? Like, but... A lot of the time we spent with our parents was together watching television and enjoying television.
No, for sure.
No, in my house it was like the way that people use the radio. It was just on all the time.
Yeah,
and and also it's sort of the thing about it that was good is that sometimes TV there was nothing to watch, and you ended up watching something you never were going to watch because you couldn't turn the TV off. What are we, Philistines? That's how you end up going like, huh. I didn't know about this the wildlife show or whatever. You sort of ended up watching things that you weren't going to watch otherwise.
Did you have any influence over the clicker? Did you ever get to drive, or were you sort of a passenger in terms of what you were watching?
In my grandmother's house when I was a kid, I was not in charge. Like I had. That's why I got to watch a lot of soap operas when I was a kid. Right. I actually wrote about this in my Substack recently. There would be blocks of TV where I got the first couple blocks and then she got the next couple. And so like I wrote about Friday night when I was a kid was like Incredible Hulk, Dukes of Hazzard, and then Dallas. Like that was so like and we would just sit there and she would watch the first two with me and then I'd watch the last one with her. And then when Hulk got canceled, it was Falcon Crest and then Dallas. So yeah, there would be like you sort of like everybody got their block of the television.
It's amazing. Like when they canceled Hulk, you're like, well, I'm sure it'll be another superhero show, and they're like, actually, we're leaning towards Dynasty. It's good.
Exactly. It's good. Actually, that Dallas thing does really well.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. Support comes from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment with The Breadwinner. Hey, Baji.
Hey, Sufi.
Very exciting. Straight from theaters, must-see comedy this summer, now available to watch at home on digital to enjoy again and again. And you know who was in this movie, Pashi?
Who's that?
One of our great road trip pals of all time, Colin Jost.
Oh, yeah? You know who else is in it? Someone who's been a guest on the show, Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
Star of this movie, really.
Yeah, and he was the star of the podcast when he was on. No offense to you.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, he was a star over you as well.
Mandy Moore, I would love to have her on this podcast. I was in a movie with her once. She plays Nate's wife, 3 children. Forte's in it as well. Directed by Eric Appel, who did the fantastic Weird Al movie a couple years ago with Daniel Radcliffe. It's a very funny movie. To Nate and their 3 children, Katie is the ultimate mom. But when her household invention leads to a once-in-a-lifetime deal on Shark Tank and takes her on a prolonged business trip, Nate must figure out how to keep the house from literally falling apart. Welcome to the dad era.
Grab your family and don't miss the comedy everyone is loving with an 86% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Starring the #1 comedian Nate Bargatze, summer can be chaotic, movie night doesn't have to be. Get it now on Prime Video, Apple TV, or Fandango at home. Rated PG.
Support comes from Article. Article furniture is going to change the way your home looks.
Yeah, it's going to look a lot nicer, Suvi.
Yeah, you're gonna feel happier when you walk into a house full of Article furniture. They offer curated collections for every style, be it mid-century modern, coastal, or Scandi inspired. And these are pieces that not only shine on their own, but also pair seamlessly with nearly any other Article product.
It is quality without compromise, Sufi. Article takes great care in curating its collection, focusing solely on high-quality, meaningful pieces that will stand the test of time. There's no filler. Every item is chosen for its craftsmanship, design, and lasting value.
And let me just say, what you're going to really appreciate when it shows up is both the meticulous packaging. You're going to realize the amount of care Article puts into making sure their furniture arrives to you in the condition you want it to, and the weight and the feel of the product, Bashi.
Yeah,
Can't say
I
that.
have the Kuva bed frame and the Kuva bedside tables and nightstands, I think is what they would call them. And it just it has so elevated our guest room that I kind of want to move in there and not be in our primary bedroom anymore because that guest room looks so nice.
That's fantastic. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/trips, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/trips for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Here we go.
So your grandmother is your dad's mom.
Yes.
That's when you'd watch TV. Were you close with her in general?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I had a classic Southern grandmother, like a classic, would wasn't, it's funny to say this. I'm thinking about, how would my dad take this? Wasn't necessarily nice to you, but you knew she loved you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think that's
We had
a
a
little bit
grandmother
like
like
a
that.
New England grandmother, too.
Yeah, we had one of those.
I have no doubt that she loved me and wanted the best for me, but certainly didn't suffer my foolishness.
You definitely, I think it's like the Midwest is where you want to be if you want to actually know they like you.
Yeah, or my kids, my wife, my mom is nice, but my wife's mom is like the classic grandmother who is making the arts and crafts and doing all the things with the girls. Yeah.
Where is she? Where did your wife grow up?
Monterey, California.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, made famous through that HBO TV show that made Monterey seem nicer than it is.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Yeah,
Don't believe it.
Monterey.
So your grandmother, you were an only child. Did your grandmother have other grandkids?
Yeah. No, it was one of those. It was also that classic Southern family where there was some of my cousins were, some people I thought were my uncles were actually my cousins, because there was just so many generations of children and also so many that person died and then we took that kid in and, where you sort of don't know exactly how you're related to everybody. Yeah. So we had, but because I was by far the youngest, I was my cousins were a lot older than me, so I didn't grow up with them in the way that my kids are growing up with their cousins. Because I was my mom had waited. It's funny to say this. She was 36 when she had me, which at that time was super old to have your first kid.
Yeah.
And so, whereas everybody else was having kids out of high school or in high school, and so I was by far the youngest on both sides of my family. So I was an only child and also felt like an only cousin. Except I had there was another cousin who was the same age as me, but she was actually her mom was actually my first cousin, and then she was whatever that is, once removed cousin, but we were close in age. And that lady is author N.K. Jemisin.
Oh, how about that?
Her work.
Yeah. Did you? So when you would spend a summer in Mobile, would you interact with so much family?
Yeah, no. So for sure, when I've taken my kids back there, I tell them first of all, I love taking my kids back to Alabama because I just feel like so many people are afraid of the South if you don't live there. So, and Mobile is the southernmost tip of the South. The Gulf of Mexico is next. Not the Gulf of America. But, so I will tell them like everybody's going to act like they know you and are related to you, and everybody's going to be like they're going to talk about you like they knew you when you were a baby, even if they're meeting you for the first time. You know,
it's great.
And so like you have to and you just have to sort of I just set my kids up. You have to just be ready for that. Like there's going to be like 80-year-old women who are like, "Oh, baby," who are just going to come in for a hug. I know we talk about consent. I know we talk about like your body's your choice. Just yes, that's all true. Just be prepared that they don't know any of that.
We have. I hate to tell you this. I have waived your rights to consent,
but only for black women over the age of 70.
Yes, you are going to be manhandled by black women over the age of 70s, and after how many times is it something now that your girls? You have 3 girls, correct?
Yeah.
Is it something they look forward to, a trip to Mobile? Has it become a trip?
Yeah, we're going this summer. We haven't been in a while. So it's funny. Like, so my dad actually has a condo on Orange Beach. Alabama has beaches. A lot of people don't know that. But it's the part of Alabama that looks like Florida should own it. But so we're going to Orange Beach, and my kids are like, "Oh, I really want to go to Mobile," which just sort of blows my mind. And also was like, I never said that when I was your age. Like, you know, but they want to go to his house in Mobile, and so they're sort of bummed out.
What is the appeal? What does your dad have in Mobile that they like doing?
It's funny. So I think my dad likes living in Mobile because he like was a titan of industry, and he got into insurance sales and then became in charge of insurance company. Like he got into the thing called reinsurance, was the people who insure insurance, which is like the ultimate highest level of scam right under Bitcoin. And so he did well and has lived in New York and has traveled all over the world and could live anywhere he wants to, but likes living in Mobile because I think he likes walking the streets of places like, and you thought I'd never be anything. Because he was like the kid who came from the family that was poor, and, you know, being black in Mobile, nobody's supposed to be successful. So he really likes the fact that he's now like a giant fish in a small town. So therefore, about 10 years ago, my dad like built his dream house. And when you go into it, it feels like you drew this on a piece of paper when you were 8, because this is ridiculous. And because it's Mobile, it probably cost $500,000. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's what he would pay for it in LA or in Manhattan would be very different. I mean, it might cost more than that, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so his house has an elevator in it. A completely unneeded elevator, because he lives on the bottom floor. My stepmom lived on the bottom floor when she was alive. There is no need, and there's enough property where it could have just been a ranch house. But I'm like, this is 8-year-old you going, when I have a house, I'm going to have an elevator in it.
Yeah.
So my kids like riding up and down the elevator, to be honest, why they like to go.
I might be getting this wrong, but I feel like I just read an article about the baseball player Dusty Baker. Mm-hmm. And that he had an elevator in his house that went up to a room that has all his like memorabilia from playing, and it just made me really happy. I was like, I don't know if it's because of baseball knees or what, but I'm just happy Dusty Baker has an elevator in his house.
No, it's just great. That again, talking about high levels of achievement. If you're born poor and black in this country, and one day you have a house with an elevator in it, that's like, you know, that's higher than president, I think, you know.
That's really good. Is Mobile, so the kids just like are like, we're gonna go to a house and just ride the elevator and
yeah, and I mean it's also like it's got a big backyard. It's like my dad's wife really is invested in being like the grandmother that like my mom isn't like on the floor. Like she like gets them fixed. So they'll show up and there's gift baskets, and, you know, there's just like, you know, shoes and all their like new slippers and all their sizes. She really, shout out to Lola, she really goes that extra mile to make them. So, and it's also very clear, like the Christmas presents have all gotten better since they got married. Like, because my dad would just go to Amazon and go, whatever the number one gift for an 8-year-old girl would be, he would just buy that. Like, so, you know. So they like it because it's very much caters to them. But they're gonna, yeah.
How long, when you were a kid, how long would you go to Mobile in the summers? Was that your whole summer?
Yeah, it was the entire summer. I felt like school was out on Friday afternoon, and then Saturday morning I was on a flight, and then you know, let's say school started on a Monday, I'd be back on like maybe that Saturday before school started.
Wow.
So like, yeah.
And so would your mom basically just be a mom with no kids for the summer?
Yeah, that's the funny part is that for years I would be in Alabama, be like, I feel so bad for my mom. She's got to be so sad to be alone by herself all for 3 months. She's got to be so sad. Like she's got to be so depressed. And then as an adult, I carried that with me for years. Then as an adult, I found out she's like, that's when she was having fun. Like
of course.
Capital F fun. Yeah. So
and especially as like someone who was a single mom during the year, like they needed it. I would imagine she needed it even more than a normal parent would.
For sure. And she also was very good about like, I never as a kid, like I met some men who came through the house, but there was never like this is your new dad or this is my boyfriend. She was very good at like, these men were not allowed to like, call me son. And then later I was like, oh, I guess that's the guy she was dating. But, so she was very good at like separating church and state.
But did you, what were your vacations like? Would you ever sort of go to non-Mobile places or non-Boston? Would you and your mom go on getaways or? Yeah,
I mean, so certainly there were like when we lived in Chicago, there would be like trips to go to her mom's house in Indianapolis. That was like, there weren't a lot of like major, huge vacations. Although when I was little, we went to Disneyland. That's like one of my first memories. And then like there were a couple like, the biggest vacation that I remember us taking is we went to San Francisco one time, which was years before I ever thought I would live in the Bay Area. And because this is like when I look back, I go, oh, that's proof that my mom loved me. So I don't know how we ended up picking San Francisco, but I do know that once we got there, that she allowed us to stay in a hotel near Chinatown because I was a fan of Bruce Lee and I knew Bruce Lee had been born in Chinatown. That's a mom who loves her son.
Yeah.
There's all the places you could stay in San Francisco. We stayed in the Hilton Chinatown because my mom was like, and I walked around the streets of Chinatown looking for Bruce Lee memorabilia, which at the time was not as easy to come by as it is right now.
That's funny. I would have thought they would have been out in front of that. I mean, that's kind of peak Bruce Lee.
I mean, this is like the peak. I mean, I feel like we're actually in peak Bruce Lee now. This was like, I don't know, what was I like? Late, like this is the 80s, so I was a teenager, and there was a period of time where the Bruce Lee industrial complex hadn't fully kicked in yet. So, like, I remember going to like a shop that, like one of those Chinatown shops that has like everything, like my friend Kevin Kadoka would say, it has videotapes and parkas and Sprites and I had to get a Bruce Lee iron-on a white T-shirt that I had forever. That was the way I got my Bruce Lee T-shirt. Whereas, so it was before, I'm friends with his daughter now, and it was before she had like assembled all the rights back and really kicked it up into high gear.
It is funny. That's how you know you're not fully there, is like you still, there's assembly required.
Yes, yeah. Put that on that and sell that to me.
It's always funny because like, somebody being from a place makes natural sense. My wife's from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's funny sometimes when I go back and I'm like, they're selling Walter White memorabilia.
Exactly.
I'm like, which part of this reflects well on Albuquerque as a culture, other than the beautiful vistas?
Yeah, it's like Philadelphia not knowing where to put the Rocky statue. Is this art or is this sports?
Yeah,
it's something because it's Rocky, but we don't know exactly where it goes.
Yeah, but we know we can't get rid of it.
Yeah, we know we can't.
People be real mad if you get rid of it.
Yeah, people are flying into town to take pictures with it. We just don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
Is it history? Maybe it's history.
What was the so your mom, Indianapolis, was that a city that you would look forward to? Were you close with her mother?
Yeah, I mean, her mom was more of the like grandmother who quietly sits in the chair, doesn't say, like there was not a lot of like, there wasn't with my dad's mom, I have a lot of memories with her and being with her and hanging out with her. With my mom's mom, there was not as much excitement in Indianapolis. And
she never got over the fact that the Hulk got canceled.
No, she didn't. She was really bummed out about
She just got real. After that, she got real quiet.
Yeah, she got real quiet. Yeah.
It is funny just having different vibes from grandparents because I think we had one in Pittsburgh and we had one in, sort of coastal Massachusetts. And as much as it's about where you are geographically, so much more it's about like who the actual grandparents are and what they want to do for fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I've always been aware that my mom, like I said, she's 89, is a better, like when you're like over the age of 11, she kicks in as a grandmother. Like when you're like ready to talk about the real shit.
We had one of those. Right. And then the other one, like once you get over 11, you're like, oh, you an old lady.
What in Indianapolis were you downtown? Could you like if you walked out of your grandmother's house, were you in the city or were you?
That's a good question. I mean, no. I mean, this was also like we're talking about like 70s and early 80s, so I wasn't really going anywhere.
Right.
Maybe across the street, and also Indianapolis is. I mean. You know, it's so funny. Indiana, quiet as it's kept, is actually Mississippi. It's just Mississippi with a northern accent. So it's not it's certainly not a place that I would have been. My grandmother would let me walk around town.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm laughing about the horror.
Yeah. Turns out it's everywhere.
Yeah. So when I think about Indianapolis, I think about being at my grandmother's house and like just being there and like there. You know, it's just also. Like the other thing about that grandmother, she did cook. She was a really good cook. And when she died, it's that thing, you know, you hear the expression, we lost some recipes. Like we lost a ton of recipes with her because my mom is great at a lot of things. That's not one of them.
So funny. What a funny.
So I think about like my grandmother used to make hand pies, which were like, that's what we called them, which is basically like a Hostess apple pie, but homemade, you know? So
right.
like and my mom, we tried to make it at one point after she died, and it was like, this is good for nothing, you know. So that's we lost the hand pie recipe.
What did you and your mom ever like get on an airplane together and go anywhere, or was that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that So we went to DC one time. I think really it was like again single parent. I'm trying to think of other. I mean, there would be probably, I guess when I think about probably once we went to the Bahamas one time when I was a little kid. And I remember being there as a little kid and be like, this will be better when I'm an adult. You know, so there was definitely like a once a year trip, but it'd be like a big deal. We were not going on. I was on planes a lot because my dad was in Alabama. Like, so as a kid, I was like the kid who was always like, who knew how to fly. Like I tell my kids these stories because at the time, and when I tell my kids these stories, they think it's like a horror story. Like I was flying by myself since I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, you know, my mom's just walking me to the gate, sitting me in a chair, looking at the gate agent going, you got this? You know what I mean? And then because I'm flying to Alabama from like Boston, you have to connect through Atlanta. No big deal. Just the busiest airport in the world. And, you know, being handed off to people one after the other. So by getting to, and this is back when you could walk into the gate to get off the gate in Alabama and my dad would be standing right there. So it was like, and I tell my kids that and they're like, no. You know, my oldest kid is 15. She's never flown by herself.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm trying to think of the first time I did. I was probably close, 15, 16, maybe. But 4 is nuts. But again, once you do it, then you're fine, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, and I think also it was just like, I think my mom was like, I don't want to see your dad, so I'm not flying to Alabama.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. This is going to take a lot of time. There's a connection.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done that with my kids. My wife certainly would not do that, but it was just the most efficient way to get it done. But I remember the point that like, cause at some point, I think when you turn 12 or 13, you're allowed to like, they don't like, hand deliver you places anymore. And I remember the first time I was at an airport at like 12 or 13 and something, it's like, no, get yourself to the gate.
Right.
Like make your own connection. You're like, but 2 weeks ago you were doing this for me, you know. I wasn't paying attention.
You were supposed to learn. This was also instruction.
Told me this is the last time you ever get to fly by yourself with help. So I remember being like really freaked out about like getting through the airport by myself.
Do you think you were good company for your mom on trips? Like when you were in DC and it's just like mother and son? Like,
no, we were, that's the difference between our relationship with my mom and our relationship with my dad. Me and my mom were legitimately like friends.
Right.
And liked hanging out together and liked sort of doing things. And she, from a very early age, because she couldn't always afford babysitters, she would take me places, which I think really was one of the defining things about my personality. Is I was always a pretty good listener because I'd be around adults and just be like, man, I don't know none of this, but it sure is interesting. So, so I would say I was a good hang for my mom. And one of the things I really like with my kids is I've replicated, like, I feel like I'm a good hang for my kids and we actually genuinely like each other in addition to being legally tied to each other.
Right.
When you went to the Bahamas, are you like staying on the beach somewhere? Or are you at some?
Yeah, we're at like a classic Nassau resort. Mm-hmm. It's funny. So it's just reminding me of another trip of that. So we went to a resort and got to get around town a little bit. My memory is just of like the fact that it was hot and that it was all the fun looked to be something that you could do if you were an adult. Like I remember it did not seem like it was not. This was before I think all inclusive resorts with like slides and things like with like where the kid area where like when me and my wife go places. So it's funny. So years later we went back to the Bahamas, but it was as a result of like I got booked on Jesse Thorne, Maximum Fun podcast network.
I know that dude.
He had like, he had a cruise that was like, that also was like, so he had booked me on the cruise to do stand up, and my wife was supposed to go, and she was pregnant, so she was too pregnant to go. And so at the last minute, I was like, Mom, do you want to go? So at the time, my mom was in her 70s. And so I took my 70-year-old mom on her first cruise ever. And again, it was like it was one of the greatest, most ridiculous things ever to take. We were staying in the, those tiny cruise rooms. Where like, there's, you wake up and you can touch both walls like this. And took her on this cruise ship, and we got to sort of like hang out for several days on this cruise ship while, around you, everybody's getting as drunk as possible. And I'm doing stand-up comedy at night. And one of the greatest moments I remember for that cruise trip is we were sitting at breakfast one day, and this is a classic my mom sort of thing. She's looking out the boat and she sees people like parasailing off the back of a speedboat. And she's like, "What? What is that?" I was like, "That's parasailing." "People do that?" "Yeah, they're doing it right now." "Why would you do that?" "Because it's like a thing you'd want to, I don't know, people do everything." "Is it dangerous?" "I'm sure it's probably fine." They're not going to do it if it's dangerous. "Why would anybody want to do that?" Over the course of an hour, "I think I want to do that."
Did you get her up there?
We went parasailing. It was like one of those moments you're like, this is like maximum mom. And just such a like, she looked at it, was like angry. This is how my mom works. She's angry. "I don't like that. I think that's dumb. Why would anybody do that? What time can we go?"
Did she enjoy the experience in the end?
She did. She had a great time, but I just always remind her of like that moment of like, that's a classic, like whenever she gets really like upset or bothered by something, sometimes it's like, I actually like that a lot and I want to try it, but I'm afraid to say, So yeah, I think there's also part of my mom that is so from Indianapolis, like a poor kid from Indianapolis, poor black girl from Indianapolis, that her world was so small and she thought she was never going to escape it. And everything she wanted to do was to escape that world. And so she's still in a place where sometimes she's like, feels like, why do they get to do that over there? I'm mad at them. It's like, actually, if we pay $75, we get to do it too.
It's a nice trump card on your dad, because she's like, that's like 1,000 elevators. That's how tall it was. That's how high it was.
Would you ever go anywhere with your dad, stepmom, and stepsister?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big, because my dad, like I said, my dad eventually became a titan of industry, but when I was a kid, he was like a bank manager. Like he was so when you're in Mobile, the big trip is either New Orleans, which we went to a couple times, but the more main trip is like the beaches of, like, they call it the Redneck Riviera, which is where I'm taking my kids to, and that's what they call it. And it's basically the beaches of Alabama and Florida that's close to Alabama, and you'd rent these like, sort of motel condos, and that would be your trip, is on the beach, on these it's funny, these beautiful beaches that happen to be on the least popular parts of Florida and Alabama. So, and that's where I'm taking my kids. Now the condos are like these giant towers, but that was like when we were going to the beach, that was a time we were like, we have lived well. We have done well in life. We're going to the beach, and you go to the grocery store and you have to buy groceries. It's like the fun part of staying in a condo on the beach. You have to buy groceries. Are we going to finish this box of cereal? You know what I mean? Like,
it's so, sometimes I get frustrated when, like, I took my oldest, who's 10, to Boston, and we did all the historical museum stuff. And all he cared about was, room service.
Yeah.
And part of me is like so mad that his focus is in the wrong place. But then when I remember trips, I think the most exciting thing was that we were going to go to a different grocery store that had all the same stuff. But it was just a different grocery store. It was so exciting.
Well, that's what my wife does. This is like, you get to buy the cereals you don't normally buy that we will never buy for you at home. So like that, the cereals that are like little packages of cereals, all like 12 of them all together. So my kids are like, I finally get to discover what this Fruit Loops is all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's also so funny as a kid, you're like, it's a variety pack of 12. And then 3 days in, you're like, I hate the other 9.
Exactly. 'Cause the other
Why
9 are
didn't we just get
cornflakes.
12 of the ones we liked?
But at least now you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like you
Corn Pops are
observably knew.
shitty.
It was a lot of like, oh, wait, I didn't. In my excitement to get the Fruit Loops, I didn't realize how many of these were brand forward.
Exactly. Bran, no raisins.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors.
Support comes from Fitbod. What's up, Baji?
Hey, Sufi.
You know what? I when you get in a workout routine, it's great because you get that rush from starting up a new thing. But when the workouts get repetitive, I think that's when you start falling off. You get a little bit less excited to jump into each workout. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And a lot of times it means you just sort of like plateau. Your body's like, you're giving me the same thing every day. If you don't mix it up, I'm just sort of going to stay right where I'm at.
Good news. Fitbod keeps you locked in by making every session a new challenge. It takes the mental load away from planning the right exercise at the right intensity. You can stay focused on your gains.
Yeah. If you want your strength and endurance improved, Fitbod's a great way to go. Your friends and family are going to notice, not just you.
And also, their workouts adapt to your growth. So each workout is challenging enough to push you to make progress. Fitbod tracks your muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout and keep up your momentum fine-tuned by experienced certified personal trainers to bring best practices and exercise science to you.
This summer, push your progress and see what you're really capable of. Join Fitbod today. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/trip. That's fitbod.me/trip.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack, hydration, and coffee sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel you need to win your day. What's up, Budgie?
Hey, Sufi.
You know what I used to love was just samples. Remember you used to go to a store and you'd get like little free samples?
Yeah.
Little piece of cheese with a toothpick in it.
Yep. That's nice.
Tiny piece for granola bar.
Just a little amuse-bouche.
Yeah, well, guess what? IQ Bar, they understand that we like samples, and that's why their Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ Bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. How many samples, Posh? If you love a free sample, do you think it's allowed? Or do you think you're allowed to take a second?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you can get up to 3. But
Okay,
then I
that's
think it's almost incumbent upon you to maybe take one of the full size.
I think if you
and put it in
take
your
the
cart.
third sample, yeah, you put it in your cart, and then you maybe on your way to checkout, you're like, oh, how did this get in here? And then you throw it on the ground. Yeah.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen to you with this IQ Bar sampler pack.
No, that's fantastic. So I'm going to talk about IQ Mix, zero sugar drink mix that hydrates with electrolytes, improves mood, boosts clarity. Why don't you take IQ Joe, Posh?
Sure. IQ Joe is a mushroom coffee designed for mental clarity and packed with 200 milligrams of natural caffeine. Plus, it comes in 4 different flavors that will totally transform your morning routine.
I'm a big fan of the IQ Joe. I love it. Made a big difference in how I start my day. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text TRIPS to 64,000. That's TRIPS to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Here we go.
When you went down to the Redneck Riviera, would you know other people who, like a lot of times people, just growing up around in New England, like you'd go to Florida and then people you happen to know would be sort of staying nearby. Would you know people who were going to be there as well? Or were you just...
No, this is what I miss. And when I see my kids do it, I get really excited. Like, it was the days when you were like, you would just be a kid. Me and my stepsisters would jump in the pool, and whatever kids were there, you sort of just became friends with for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which I feel like doesn't happen the same way it used to, because parents aren't as like open to that, and also kids have devices. But just the idea of like, oh, you're in the pool, we're in the pool, now we're all friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I remember about it. It was a time of those friends for 3 days. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's it was interesting you mentioned it earlier, because I feel like the friends from 3 days when you realize it's over and you're like never gonna see them again, and you don't really want to work to do it. Your pool friends. You're like, what are you gonna do? Right? Be pen pals. Be like, yeah, been any pools lately? Like no other shared interests have even been breached. But it's also like, it's funny when you talk about like a summer of watching soap operas, I feel like there's that same thing where it's like you think that you realize like, oh, I've just been on a moving train. Like, I'm not going to be here for any conclusions.
No.
I'm going to
The beginning of every summer would be like trying to pick up. Where did I miss? What did I miss? What are Hope and that guy doing now from Days of Our Lives? I can't remember.
I'll tell you this: if your gram mother was anything like ours, they love to watch it and they don't like answering questions. I feel like the more questions, also the more questions you answer about a soap opera, the more you feel bad about watching it in the first place. Like,
no, just don't interrupt my stories. Was a common refrain.
Yeah,
I feel the same way about sports and having like introduced my boys to it, and now it's all they want to talk about, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Shut up. They're like, who was the best Red Sox ever? I'm like, I don't want to, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows.
You don't know him.
Nobody knows.
Well, it's funny because I had that happen with my oldest daughter. She was not, because it's funny, I have these 3 daughters and none of them are like superhero interested, which as a kid, that was, if I lived through the era as a kid of the superhero movies, I'd be so excited, but none of them are. So I sort of had to see I had to see most of these Marvel movies and DC movies by myself. But then finally, my oldest daughter got interested in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, but only because Zendaya was in them.
Yeah.
And so she sees Zendaya as being the equal of Spider-Man in those movies. But what it means when you watch those 3 movies is they're so tied into the Avengers MCU universe that there's constantly like, who's that guy? I got to pause. Okay, look. So that's Iron Man. Let me explain all of who Iron Man is and why he's being mean to Tom Holland in this scene. All right, let's press play. Who's that guy? Okay, that's Tobey Maguire. Let me explain why Tobey Maguire is here,
having to explain multiverse to children, that's not fair.
Yeah,
I remember like growing up, I don't know if you were a comic book person, but like when you used to grow up and like we would buy like just road trip comics. So, it wasn't when I was going to the comic book store, which I did later in my life and like picking everything up, but you'd buy like an Iron Man 261 and then there'd be like a little asterisk. It's like, see Iron Man 248. And I'd be like to my mom, like, we got to find a store. We got to find a store with back issues. Because I don't know what's going on.
They used to sell them like in like 7-Elevens. There'd just be a rack of comic books, and it was just sort of a rack of odds and ends of random issues that had not been sold. And you're like, great, but now I'm in the middle of a story that I'll never be able to figure out again.
It's also a reminder of the difference between a comic book and a book, which is like you'd go to a store, you'd like buy 8 comic books, and you'd be like, well, this drive is going to flash by now, and I'm done. It took me 11 minutes and I'm done.
I remember when comic books went from being 60 cents to $1, and I was like, $1? But it's still the same 5 minutes of enjoyment. Like, I can't invest $1 into this. Yeah.
Same drawings. Spider-Man didn't get a nicer house.
No, he never does. He never does.
Were you guys, were you more pool people over ocean people if you had that option at a place in Alabama?
Me and my wife, this is where, if we're talking about as a kid,
you can go any era.
So as a kid, I would say, we went to the beach, but I would say we were more pool people. Mm-hmm. As an adult, I am fully a pool person. I've been to the beach enough in my life. Thank you, beach. You've done well. You've done your time, beach.
And now is your wife a beach person? Is that what
my wife's totally because she grew up in Monterey, so the smell of the ocean is really important for her. Like it's a real sometimes she has to. We live in Oakland. Sometimes she will once every couple months we'll drive to Monterey just to get the smell of the Monterey ocean in her. And the Monterey ocean is not like a warm. It's Northern California beach is not Southern California beach, but she's definitely a beach person. But to me, the beach is just a lot of work that doesn't ever pay off.
It's
Even
accurate.
Walking onto the beach is hard.
Everything you're saying is accurate. Everything you're saying is accurate.
Whereas the pool is just there.
Right.
It's funny that you, wasn't really home per se, being from Northern California, and yet you've ended up back there as your home now.
Yeah. When I moved here, I was like, I'm going to move to the San Francisco Bay Area. It's going to be a brand new thing. And my dad was like, you should move him back home, right? And I was like, what? Because I never really thought of myself as a native Californian. And even now, when I have to tell the story of my life, I have to be like, okay, I was born in California, but no, because then people start, well, where did you go to high school? No, I didn't. I was not here for all that. But so there is something about this that makes sense that when I moved to the Bay Area, I thought I'd be here for 2 years and then move to LA and, get a sitcom, movie deal, all that stuff. The young Chris Rock package where you get a sitcom and a movie deal and a Lethal Weapon sequel. but like none of that happened, and I ended up staying. And now, now I can't. Now I'm pot committed.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I mean, I was in New York
Nice
for a
way.
couple years with my first TV show, but then as soon as my wife got pregnant, we moved right back.
Any exotic trips you've taken with your wife and your daughters?
So yeah, the great thing, and I don't know how you feel about this, but you guys feel about this, but the great thing about being in this business is that sometimes you get to take them on work trips, and sort of doesn't always work to split the difference, but like so like we got to when I was in Montreal when we had two daughters, we went to the Just for Laughs in Montreal, and I took my daughters with me, and it's sort of cool to have them walk around town and go, see that tiny poster underneath that giant poster? The tiny poster is me,
Yeah. My
See me at
boys would immediately be like, why don't you have the bigger poster?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah. Like there's a picture of them. Like there's all the comics who have shows at the festival, and my daughters are at the bottom of this giant poster with all these pictures because my poster was at the bottom of this. Yeah, so
That's great.
So we've gotten to like when my oldest daughter was 6 weeks old is when I got into the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So we had to get her a passport at 6 weeks old and take her to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I got to like walk around Edinburgh with this baby and like one of the Moby, the giant thing, while handing out flyers for my
Oh
show.
man, we've both done Edinburgh, and the one thing that I'm not jealous of is doing it with a 6-month-old or
6 week old, even
6 week old, even worse.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
well,
no.
do you remember your venue at Edinburgh? Where'd you play?
I was in those. It was definitely in the places where the comedy shows were. It like I don't know, like where is it? Starts with a P, I think.
The Pleasance?
Yes, I was like there where I was in a good I was in a good central location and in like 100-seat venue. That some nights
Yeah.
had 8 people in it, but
That's okay. By the way,
that's
100
okay.
for your first Fringe, I wouldn't recommend going bigger than 100.
No, for sure. No,
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't recommend doing it at all. Like, I would-
Yeah.
That's
Did you
my
just do it
recommendation
once?
For the Fringe. Yeah, that's what I remember. I was there, and I remember seeing there's a comic named Glenn Wool who was there who had a really good year. This was like 2011, 2012. Yeah, 2011. And they were like, after 10 years, Glenn Wool finally has his breakout show. And I was like, 10 years? No, I won't be back. I'm not going to. If I don't break out in 1 year, I'm having a hard enough time breaking out in America. I can't pot commit to Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, also, like Josh and I kept going back with improv shows, but that thing at Edinburgh where stand-ups have to come up with a completely new hour
Yep.
to go back to, you're like, what?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's if I was like I would have to move here for this to all make sense, because it's like I'm not doing that. So I was like, I will never. It's like the thing about halfway through, I suddenly had this like because it went fine-ish,
Yeah, sure.
because you know how Edinburgh works. You get the star reviews and they put them on your poster, and
Yep.
So and they only put them on if you get 4 or 5. So I remember like Michael Winslow was there when I was there, and you couldn't even see his face for all the 5-star reviews Michael Winslow got. And
Yeah.
it's like, shout out to Michael Winslow. He doesn't have that kind of acclaim in this country, but in Edinburgh, they were like, he is the guy.
Wait, Michael Winslow from like Police Academy?
Yes.
Yeah.
was getting 5 stars for Edinburgh
His
show?
poster was lousy with 5-star, because they just glue them on, and after a while, you barely can see the performer for all the 5-star reviews. And he was like,
is there nobody who does sound effects in the UK?
I mean, apparantly not. Apparently not.
Yeah, different
And his-
enough from everybody else that it was like, well, if you want to see something unique,
Yeah. And Edinburgh is definitely like about doing something they like things that are, and they're like things that are unique or that feel
Yes.
like nobody else is doing this.
By the way, no,
And
I'm
good for him. Good for
I
him.
want to make sure, no shade to Michael Winslow. I delighted every time I saw him on screen. I'm very happy that he had.
Yeah, if you Google his Jimi Hendrix impression, it's actually like amazing. And so if he closed on that, I get where the 5-star reviews are. And I don't mean his impression of the speaking voice of Jimi Hendrix. I mean of the guitar.
do your daughters get a vote on where you've taken vacations? Do they ever say like, hey, we would love to go here?
So one of our most most talked about family vacations was I was walking through the streets of Berkeley one day, and this woman stops me, recognized me, and said, I just wrote a children's book. Can I give it to you? And I was like, of course you can. And the name of the book is called Mr. Okra Sells Fresh Fruits and Vegetables. And it was about a man in New Orleans who had a truck where he would drive around the city and sell fresh fruits and vegetables. And the book is all about all the different places. It's sort of like the blueberries were blue like this building in New Orleans. The tomatoes are red like this place in New Orleans. So it's like all about it's like a tourism guide to New Orleans set against this character. And it's also, he sings a song. So when you read the book, if you're a good parent like I am, you sing a song with it, cause it's all about how he sings through the streets of New Orleans. And so I took it home and immediately sort of became a part of our family children's book cycle and at the time it was just my oldest daughter was around. And then my middle kid was born, and I started reading it to her, and she loved that book so much that she's like, I want to go to New Orleans. And I was like, and New Orleans is only 2 hours from Alabama.
Yeah.
So I was like, we could probably pull this off. We can, the next time we go to Alabama, we can just drive the 2 hours to New Orleans, and we can go to New Orleans. And so we did. And so she was 4 at the time. And so for years, and it was a great trip. And also, the book did a good job of laying things out. So, you'd be like, wait, the green palm fronds are next to the church, which is across from Cafe Du Monde. We just knocked out 3.
Yeah, that's huge.
We knocked out 3 pages.
I mean, that might be absolute pinnacle vacation, which is based on a book your kids love, but in a town that's built for adults.
Yes.
Really good.
Yeah, because we had our babysitter with us at the time, our childcare person, and so she would watch the kids at night, and me and my wife would walk around New Orleans, and we'd have our own tour of New Orleans. So so it was and it was great because it gave my 4-year-old the sort of I planned a family trip, and she felt all good about it. It was a good trip. And that book, and it's funny, it's not a famous kids book. I think if you look on it, try to order it, I don't think they printed up a lot of copies of it, but it's it's funny when, Goodnight Moon gets all the credit, Mo Willems, who should get all the credit, gets all the credit.
Yeah.
And then I think probably a lot of families have the random kids book that they only have that no other family has that somehow made a big impact on their family. And for us, it's Mr. Okra Sells Fresh Fruits and Vegetables. So, and now, as an adult, she talks about wanting to live in New Orleans sometimes, based on this whole experience we had.
Wow,
that's
amazing.
Yeah, my kids love Goodnight Moon. They made us take a vacation to an old woman's house. We had to be quiet the whole time. At bed, we want to go to an old woman's house at bedtime.
Yeah, and she was like, "Just leave my house. Good night. Good night."
They were like, "Oh, the mush doesn't taste as good as I thought it would."
Yeah, the beignets at Cafe Du Monde are much better than the mush.
Oh man, Cafe Du Monde. I just was at Cafe Du Monde. Kamau Bell, you have a new podcast as well.
Yeah, so my new podcast started a little over a month ago called Who's With Me, which is also the name of my Substack. And every week I sit down and have interesting conversations with people. And it starts out with me giving people their flowers so I can tell them why I admire them or why I invited them on the podcast. And then then I have some very specific questions for them. And then it ends with me asking them for ways that they would like my audience to help, because at this time of history, we need to figure out how we can, turn this ship around.
Well, congrats on that. And it's lovely to see you and talk to you.
Yeah, good talking to you. Thanks, guys.
Before we let you go, Josh is going to hit you with our speed round questions.
Okay.
Here you go. You can only pick one of these. Is your ideal vacation relaxing, adventurous, or educational?
Relaxing.
Right.
It's not even close.
What is your favorite means of transportation?
My favorite means of transportation, plane.
If you could take a vacation with any family, alive or dead, real or fictional, other than your own family, what family would you like to take a family vacation with?
The fictional part is what's opening up all the things.
Yeah.
The Bradys.
Ooh, fun. Although things go south for them sometimes. I remember when they went to Hawaii.
I just wouldn't touch any. Yeah. They said, touch this thing we found in the ocean. No, thank you. I'm good on that. I just feel like they would have a lot of snacks and a lot of good cereals.
If you had to be stranded on a desert island with one member of your family, who would it be?
My 8-year-old, because she's basically feral.
Okay, great. What is your dream destination for a family vacation?
Someplace that is dads only. Someplace has good Wi-Fi and is hot and but is also close to the beach, so my wife can go to the beach. But I want a pool, I want heat, and I want good Wi-Fi.
Okay, great. What would you consider as your hometown? You've been all over, so what's your hometown?
My hometown is Oakland, where I've been living for many years and where all my kids have been born.
Okay, if you had to get more families to come visit Oakland, what would you tell them about that town?
That Oakland is the blue bubble that everybody makes fun of. So, like, if you want to come to a place where you can relax, because we have all the diversity, the food is great. Lake Merritt is great. There's a hang on the weekend at Lake Merritt. It has all the people, all the stuff, all the things, and it's a lot cheaper than San Francisco.
Yeah. I host a California podcast, and we were talking to the Visit Oakland people, and they've got like a taco trail, I feel like, and they've got all these trails. And when I was looking at the stuff that they have on offer, it really looks like a great town.
And we very recently added a Bruce Lee Avenue, so we're doing the right thing.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
So it is heyday right now.
And then Seth has our final questions.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
No.
Do you want to go?
Yes.
All right.
There we go.
I was kind of hopeful that we're kind of the same age, and I was hopeful that you hadn't gone because you, like me, think it's overrated. But I wish you the best.
Well, here's the thing.
I hope you have a great time with your family.
No, Seth, you're changing it. I don't need to go.
Okay.
But I sort of took it as like you were inviting me. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it does
nice
sort of, Seth, the way
sort of
his
came
voice
off like-
goes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're like, would you like to go? It was like,
Okay.
it was a this. It was a would you like to
You're
go?
right, all right.
It wasn't, yeah. So
I'm going to change it to this. But you don't want to go, right?
There we go. Then I get it. I thought we were becoming friends. Now I know we're not. Okay. Thanks for having me.
If you want to be a friend at a Grand Canyon, find a different friend.
Fair.
I'll be your friend for the Grand Canyon. I'm into it.
Well,
Debbie Kamau Bell, it's so nice to talk to you. Thanks for being on the pod.
Great to meet
for
you.
having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Family trips with the Meyers brothers.